Yo, peace to all the gods on the earth. So I come in the righteous name of Emir, which means ruler, master, and king, right? Emphasis on ruler. That's why I chose the name. That's the attribute of which that name represents of Allah. And I just wanted to build today on, I wanted to build on the science of Ramadan because a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of outside perspectives are being held on it. A lot of people who don't really know too much about it, are talking about it, right? And there's just a lot of talking people who don't know too much. So I just wanted to provide a little insight on the science of Ramadan and regarding all that and what I know and understand about that. But today's mathematics is knowledge, understanding, right? Number one, knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. Knowledge is the gnosis. The sun is the foundation of the solar system. That the Asiatic black man is the foundation of his family. Knowledge is to look, listen, and observe, right? And number three, understanding is the best part of living mathematics, is to see with the third eye, which is the mind. It's also a picture one draws from knowledge and wisdom, right, God? And building on that, just, briefly, right? And we can also lump this in with today's alphabet, which is number 13, M, Master, one who has a supreme power to know and understand. He possesses 360 degrees of pure mathematics and brings about understanding, meaning his entire cipher, his entire life, because 1 plus 3 plus 4, which is culture, right? But his entire culture is that of living mathematics, right? He's true and living God, meaning his entire culture, right? Not a religion, not a part-time job, as I always say, in a fashion or a fad, but his entire culture, meaning the way in which he walks and does everything, the clothes he wears, the food he consumes, the language that leaves his mouth, right? All of them things, that makes up his entire culture, God. So, you know and understand, that means your entire cipher. Not you don't have a little bit of mathematics, you got pure mathematics, meaning you've mastered that. But going back to know and understand, right, to briefly build on that, right, we can apply this to mathematics and all of 120, all of the lessons, right? Not only do you have to have them on cap and be able to recite them, you got to understand them because you can know them, yeah. That's cool. But if left alone, I can recite the lessons and be able to quote degrees, right? But you can quote degrees all day, but it's also just as important to have that understanding, right? So it's hand in hand. You got to know and understand. That's why I come in the righteous name of Emir, which means ruler, master, and what? King, right? And we build on the science of king. Number 11K, king is Allah who sits upon the throne and rules in his kingdom with the laws of nature, right? What's throne? That's a governing position in which you're putting your own self to where you're going to be setting forth the laws, rules, and regulations in the land, right? Not everybody has a big castle or a land with a whole bunch of people that lives on it, but you can apply this to your day-to-day life, right? Because I'm the ruler, meaning I'm that person who establishes them rules, right? I'm a follower of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, but how he taught us is to be self-sufficient, self-productive, right? And also self-dependent, meaning we can follow, we have that ability, but we can also go out and do for self and do these own things. So I establish my own thinkings. I don't base my thinkings off other people because you either going to be rule or a ruler, right? You're going to be a rule type person or you're going to be the ruler. A lot of people have a dependency on many things. They can't go out and do for self, right? In certain aspects. So me, I don't base my self-confidence, I don't base my self-esteem, which self-esteem is supposed to be how you feel about yourself, but many people base that off of what other people think, which makes no damn sense, right? So a mere ruler is the one who established them things. Just like in your house, you're not going to let a random person come in your house with their shoes on, kicking their legs up on your table, right? Drinking out the milk container out with their mouth, right? Nah, that's your house. You the ruler of that house. So just as you the ruler of that house, I'm the ruler of my life, right? And then going back to king, I'm the person who I put my own self into the governing position of my own life and my own cipher and surroundings, meaning that 360 degrees that surrounds every person, place, or thing in the universe, right? Whenever you come to my cipher, I'm governing all of that, meaning I have everything moving. I'm the person doing this. I'm not just going to sit here and wait for somebody to call upon me. I had to go up and get and do this. I have to also teach, bring about understanding. So that's the science of my name in relation to today's mathematics. But going back to the central focus point and topic of this video, the Ramadan, right? I want to build on the science of Ramadan. So, to anyone who knows what Ramadan is, anybody who's mistaken about what it is, and to anyone who just doesn't know and wants to learn more, let me break down Ramadan as it pertains to the lots of found members of the tribe of Shabazz, but also you know, what it is, right? So my knowledge and understanding of Ramadan, as taught by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, is people or right Ramadan. Let me first go on the fact, because people call it a fast. People say, "Oh yeah, this person he's taking a fast," right? Which is really incorrect, because as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, eating one meal a day isn't a fast. That's eating one meal a day, right? So we got to really be particular with the way in which we speak, right? Because when we're looking at it, a fast includes the day that you break your fast. So if I don't eat for 2 days and I eat on the third day, that would be a 3-day fast. Meaning it's impossible. There's no such thing as a 1-day fast. That's impossible, and that's just called eating one meal a day, right? So whenever you eat one meal a day, that's not fasting. So as far as Ramadan, it really isn't a fast, and a lot of some Orthodox Muslims, confuse that. They think eating one meal a day would be a fast, which it really isn't, right? As the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. But what I know of Ramadan, right, is the entire point of Ramadan is that they don't eat during the daylight hours, right? And then after the sun goes down, and then they eat. The reason for that is because they say that they do this for the entire month, but in the specific month that they say that the Quran was revealed to Muhammad. But as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, Allah told him that the Quran was revealed over a period of years. So with this thinking that you know I'm not going to eat during the daylight hours and wait till the sun goes down to eat, right? Or I'm only going to eat one meal a day because that isn't fasting, right? So applying that, saying, well, we have to do that in the amount of time that it was revealed to Muhammad. Well, it was revealed over a period of years. So really, in order to honor that fully, you have to do that every day of the year, right? And building on the science of not eating during the daylight hours, right? It's so that because when you're not intaking food, you can get your head's going to be a lot more clear. It's not inhibited. Your body isn't trying to digest that food, so your head's clearer. But you can also do what? You can eat your spiritual food, because we eat our spiritual food first. As all the true followers of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? We don't eat no physical food until we eat our spiritual food. Because just as you need physical food, you need the right spiritual food, and one or the other, either being the wrong food or being lack of, is going to affect you just as much, right? I don't care who you are, what you think. I could be eating the best diet, whatever, working out, but if I'm not having correct spiritual food or thinking the correct thoughts, that can mess me up just as much as me eating McDonald's and poisonous animal flesh, right? So we got to really that's the science of not eating during the daylight hours. We do that on Savior's Day, the day that the birthday of the most honorable Master W.D. Farad Muhammad, to whom all praises due forever, right? And the reason is for that, so it won't be inhibited in any way, shape, or form, and we can give extra praise to him, right, to Allah, right? And also the black man is God. God is nothing that's outside of self. As the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, Allah, the God of another man can't be anything but another man. Ain't no spook. I don't look in the sky, I don't pray on my knees, I stand up, right? And we teach that the black man is God. But yeah, we need to that whole science is so that you can pray and do studies. That's why during a fast, right, which is not eating one meal a day, that's there's no such thing as a 1-day fast. Meaning you have to at least go a full day without eating, and the next day you can eat, right? But the science of a fast is the extra time that you have that you're not eating, you should be studying. You should also keep up with prayer regularly, as you should always do, right? So that's the whole science of not eating during the daylight hours, right? Waiting till the sun goes down. But then, as I said, all of us followers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad already eat one meal a day. So no matter what time it is, we're always going to be eating one meal a day. And we're always going to be getting our spiritual food first, right? Ramadan includes also not drinking no drinks or eating meal during the daylight hours, right? Which is different. We can't eat during the daylight hours, but the Ramadan prescribed for black people in America, or the lost and found members of the tribe of Shabazz, it was prescribed that we take our Ramadan during the month of December, because that was the worst month for black folks. Black folks would spend the most money, drink the most alcohol, liquor, consume the most poisonous stuff, consume the most unhealthy food, consume the most drugs, liquor, alcohol, all of that. So that was one of the worst months for black folks. But also, it is against our culture to celebrate such devilish holiday because, that is a very, very, very false lie that Jesus was born December 25th, and you can't find uh you can't find the holiday of Christmas nor December 25th being his birthday in the Bible. And the reality of that is nobody knew his birthday except his mother and his father, right? Joseph and Mary. And that's because his birth was a secret, or else, they had to keep his birth secret because, there are people looking to kill him, right? So it was really only known to them. But as Allah told the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was born in the first 2 weeks of September. December 25th is the birthday of the demon Nimrod, right? Of Babylon. So do your own research with that. But going back to that, that's why during that entire month, because people normally come together, have big, big feasts, eating too much food, eating all the wrong types of food, drinking liquor, alcohol, gambling, sport, and play, all of that, destructive stuff and waste of money and waste of life goes on within the month of December. So to show that we don't celebrate, because the way in which Christmas is celebrated is coming together and having a big feast. So the way in which we show that we don't celebrate no demon Nimrod, right? We're not deceived by the devil's false religion, Christianity, which he shields with Jesus, right? And he teaches that Allah is something other than man, right? All the true and living gods are all the true and living black men who are aligned in their nature with their actions are God and shown and proven, right? If you ask someone and they can't break down you God, and that's a mystery God, they're dealing with a mystery God, right? So, if they can't tell you he's a man or a woman, is he a child, right? What does he look like? Is he black, white, right? So if they can't tell you them things, then they're dealing with a mystery God, which I don't even deal with that. But then going back to this, our fast, because some black folks in America, they're not Muslims nor followers of Islam, right? And that's another thing. People think the only followers of Islam are Muslims, right? So that's why they kind of get some sort of things twisted. But right, I'm the black man is God, so I'm coming in that. You can come in under the heading of Muslim, but there's no such thing as Muslim God. That's a fault. That's false. That's a falsity, right? That's just a that's an imaginary thing you're dealing with. So any so-called Muslim gods isn't real, right? Just as Sunni Muslims are quote unquote so-called Orthodox Muslims. There's only one Islam, right? Is Muslim son, and there's also God, right? You can't call yourself a Muslim son, right? That wouldn't make no sense. So you can't call yourself no Muslim God. That's a falsity, right? And you also can't reason with an unreasonable person. So don't waste your time and your energy. That's why you have to know and understand. But breaking down this stuff, there's a lot of black people in America who's like, I'm not a Muslim or follower of Islam, but I'm going to take part of this fast, this Ramadan fast, which is not a fast. It's just eating one meal a day, which we do all year long, right? And we take our Ramadan, which is not eating or drinking anything during the daylight hours in the month of December, right? But a lot of so-called American Negroes don't know that. They actually, practicing this, which, all the followers of Islam abroad and stuff who've been doing it, they can do their Ramadan during the regular scheduled time. But us black people in America, we were prescribed to take it during December. So any of the black people doing it now, that's cool, that's peace. But really, as it was prescribed for us specifically, because we have a different circumstance, right? Our book isn't the Quran. Our book isn't the Bible. As most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, the Bible is a poison book. If you read it and you don't understand it correctly, it will act as a net that's going to bring you to Lake Michigan, which is the lake of fire, hell, right? And he said the same as the Quran. It's dangerous to read the Quran if it's not correctly understood, and you need someone with you that understands it to teach it to you. That's another thing that falls into accordance with knowing and understanding, right? You need both dynamics. Yeah, if knowledge because some people say knowledge is power. That ain't necessarily true, right? Because knowledge can bring you to power, it can lead to power, but knowledge left alone won't produce anything or be making anything. So advanced knowledge, right, through wisdom makes that understanding. So that's very important to have both of them. So dealing with that, he said the Quran and the Bible wasn't for us. We couldn't read no Arabic. right? Yeah, there's English translations now, but back then we couldn't read no Arabic. But even translations, we can't understand them unless we have someone who understands them reading it with us, right? So don't go off on your own thinking this is our book, right? But our book is the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? Our book, our mathematics, our book is supreme wisdom on 120, right? That's what we should be studying and not just reading it, right? Because when you deal with a religion, which this is not, this is a culture, because a lot of people confuse religion of Islam, culture of Islam, and so on and so forth with each other, right? A religion is really just people doing different rituals, doing different things, but having no really knowledge of what that means or practical application for such. Meaning, a certain day I might go to a temple or a church, right? Or a certain day I may do this thing, right? I don't have to be conscious to that, right? I can just call myself this and then do some things without having a practical application or having understanding or even knowledge of that, right? But a culture, that's something you're doing every single day. That's the way in which a group of people, one, communicate to each other, the way in which the people live, and that's an everyday thing. It isn't just a one day a week. Sometimes you may pick up a certain book and read it, or doing, certain traditions and not really even knowing anything to it. And that falls into the science of holidays, right? Which people know nothing about, and people still celebrate, not knowing what that represents, right? So going back to this, us black folks, our Ramadan, us black folks in America, our Ramadan was prescribed to be in December. So anyone doing it now, just know that's when you're actually supposed to do it, right? And you can do it now. That's peace to you. But I just want to make that known. And then going back to Ramadan, that really isn't a fast. Eating one meal a day ain't no fast, right? Eating one meal a day is just how us followers of the teachings, just we keep it, right? That's how you're supposed to. If anybody over 16 should be eating one meal a day, right? So yeah, I was just built slightly upon science of Ramadan and also some other sciences. But at the wrapping this up at the end, right? You have to know and understand, right? You could be using the wrong terminology, right? And really not giving the correct insight to what things actually mean. Meaning, right, if you give incorrect knowledge or you're not presenting knowledge in the right way, people ain't gonna have a understanding. They may perceive it differently. Cipher is a complete circle consisting of 360 degrees. That's a different degree. Everyone has their own different viewpoint of it. So don't confuse your viewpoint with it with if you don't have a correct viewpoint, right, you don't have that understanding, you might you might have the right knowledge, but it may be formatted the incorrect way. So this is why you must know and understand, having them things and applying it to mathematics. Not only can you, after the quote degrees, you got to have understanding, right? And it's very slight, building on the multiple sciences which I talked about, but you know, I come in the righteous name of Emiro, supreme truth and master, and I'm about to head out. So peace to all the gods on the earth. Keep your vibrations up. Uh, Send all my peace and blessings towards y'all, and yeah, peace.